Welcome to American in Yerevan. You were listening to 103.0 Radio Von with Ina MK.
And Steven Oxner.
And we're here on this Wednesday evening, a very special Wednesday evening in April, because we're on the edge of spring. We're on the edge. Today was almost summer, and then right away...
So hot.
It plummeted and got cold again. But we're almost there. We've almost made it.
We're taking out our short sleeve t-shirts.
I almost wore a short sleeve t-shirt today. I was on the edge.
Okay. Try next time.
But today is also special because we are having a show about
Banashkar, about Banoran,
about
Հայրենագավառ,
about
Հավետյաց երկիր,
about
Հայրենի աշխարհ,
yes, and
Հայրենի երկիր, Հայրենի հող, Մայր երկիր, Մայր հող, Մայր հայրենիք, Ծննդավայր օրրան.
There are that many synonyms?
Yes.
When you told me that you would tell me some synonyms to motherland, I had no idea there were going to be that many. Because actually, motherland is probably, as we will find out and as we will discuss in the course of this 2-hour program in English, the word motherland, yes, English, the word motherland is almost like a created word, almost like it was invented just to be able to say something kind of similar in English.
Really?
And I have a question. This question is open to you and to all of our callers. So you can call us at 560-901 this evening to answer my question. What is a motherland?
To you.
To you. But in general, what is it? Because I can't understand. And there are some moments where I kind of feel, okay, yeah, I understand what a motherland is. I understand this thing. And then there are other moments where I just am completely lost. So, we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on some other things. What is fatherland? What is patriotism? What is a homeland? And we are going to read some poems. Stick around. Do not go away. You're listening to American in Yerevan until 11 p.m.
And call 560-901 to speak about motherland tonight with us.
Here on American in Yerevan on 103.0 Radio Von, and today we're talking about Motherland. I have this thing when I'm in taxis.
You always have these dialogues.
Always these taxi stories. I always, you know, Russian in a way. I'm very, very happy that I know Russian, but in another way, I'm very upset because it's a crutch. And for instance, whenever I get a phone call from the taxi driver that says like, "Oh, did you is your address this address?" And I always say, first, I'm sorry, I don't really speak Armenian. Do you speak Russian? And we start speaking Russian. And from that moment, the taxi driver always starts thinking, where is this guy from? Mm-hmm. I got to ask him. And then when I get in the car, he's always like, so where are you from? Are you from Russia? And I say, no, I kind of lived in Russia and then I came here, but I'm actually from America. And they go, you're from America? How long are you staying
Why
here?
Why are you here?
And I say, well, I live here. And they go, you're living here? And yesterday I had quite a disappointing, I would say, conversation with this taxi driver because he said, I don't think there's anything to live for here. He says, what are you doing coming here when you can have the chance to live in America? And I don't think there's, it's a classic thing that people say quite often.
Always.
There's no work here. You can't make enough money to live. If I had the chance, I would leave and go to Europe or America. But many people don't. This is the thing. I don't really want to talk about how I can answer this question, why I'm here living in Armenia, because I feel like we talk about that most of the time. I want to ask you, Ina, because you studied in America, and I know that you have had more than one opportunity to move to America. You've had invitations with jobs. You still have this opportunity, and you live here. So, since we're talking about motherland, I want to ask you, what is it that keeps you here? Why do you stay?
It's because I love my country. You know, Steven, it's like when we were speaking about this earlier today. Probably as a creative person or an emotional person who is connected with with, I don't know, not only the buildings or the people or the the material, the air, the water, and the land that is here, and
Yes.
everything that reminds me of my childhood memories and etc. Besides that, there is some invisible connection to where I live, to
Can
Armenia.
you describe that
which
invisible
is-
connection?
Well, I get most of the inspiration here in my country as a poem writer, for instance, and energetically I get charged from this land, if that's the right way to explain it.
So you
even
have this
though-
internal cycle of energy that
Yes.
is always being charged by. You mean the land, like the actual earth, the earth that's under your
Both
feet, or
meanings.
it's the land, like the atmosphere, the people
Both.
that you
I
talk
think it's
to.
both.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's
you do
both.
think it's an actual physical thing as well?
Absolutely.
Wow. Oh man. This is such an interesting conversation.
And even though, there are certain periods of time when you feel like you just need to get out of here to get
Some kind of
like restarted.
Yeah. You have
somewhere
like a reset
outside.
button
Yeah.
on your left elbow. And
Just
when you take a
live-
little trip to the sea,
Yeah.
and you can press that reset button,
Exactly.
or if you go
Just,
somewhere.
just like we'll speak later about the exchange year in America, but
Sure.
just like that year when I had my experience back in the United States, when I was there, I kind of had a big global restart for myself when I realized certain things about my homeland, when I started to value certain things about living here, being here. And when you're away from something, you kind of start to value it more than ever.
Very interesting answer, and I thank you very much. If you have an answer for this question, why do you live in Armenia, or what does motherland mean to you, you can really help me out, because we'll talk about this some more, but I would just like to say out loud on the air that I don't understand the concept of having a motherland. I don't understand it. It's very difficult for me to... Okay, I can relate to you because I have had this experience of feeling intuitively that a certain kind of atmosphere, a certain kind of energy really charges me and gives me inspiration, but I can't say that it is inherently attached to any physical place or any set of people. So it's a very abstract idea to me, and something that I would very, very much like to understand. So give us a call, 560-901, if you have an answer to the question, what is your motherland, or what does motherland mean to you? Why do you live in Armenia? For now, we will listen to, Madonna. This is a very fitting song, Messiah, something else that many people have a very energetical connection to.
Can I say one more
Yes,
thing?
absolutely.
Don't forget to watch us online, www.radiovan.fm.
Yes,
We're here waving at you.
because we have new high-definition cameras through which you can not only listen to us, but watch
enjoy
us as
watching
well.
us.
You are the sun.
Today, motherland, I would like to mention that the word motherland in the English language comes really from many associations that Americans have to Russia, or English speakers have to Russia, from this word Rodina, which is strange. Well, it's a little bit strange because Rodina does not actually mean necessarily motherland. It is a feminine word.
Birth.
It ends in A. Yeah, it's mostly
Yeah.
connected to birth or to people, narod, or to
Родить means to give a birth.
give birth,
Yeah.
right, of course, or to nature.
Yeah.
Природа.
Природа.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, it all
So
comes
it has
from
many
the
different strange,
one root.
the one
Mhm.
root of what seems to be birth, or
Birth. Yeah, exactly.
the beginning.
Mhm.
Yeah. And with that, I would like to say that I saw many years ago on my first trip to Moscow, one of the things that hooked me and eventually led me to Armenia was actually a director named Dmitry Krymov. and he staged this play called Opus Number 7. And in the first half, it mostly had to do with the Holocaust, and the second half had mostly to do with Shostakovich. And in that second half, there was a giant. It was like, I would say, how many meters tall would you say that was that we looked at?
It was
We watched- it
huge,
was
like
like
4 times the human
Yeah,
height.
just very, very large puppet of Mother Russia, who does all kinds of crazy things with Shostakovich. She starts by coming out, and Shostakovich is wrapped up in all of these scarves and keeps trying to walk away from her, and her hand just leads Shostakovich back to her, and then leads back to her, and leads back to her, then forces him to play the piano, then shoots all of his friend composers and tries to shoot him. Then she comes out she exits the stage, and her giant arm comes from behind the backstage area, and it's like a big snake that crosses the stage and circles around Shostakovich and sticks a metal through his heart.
Do you know that phrase in Russian?
Which one is it?
Наши руки длинные. We have
Ah,
long
yes, we have long arms.
So
Yeah.
we'll reach you wherever you are. I think that's somehow hints on that.
Very much so. I would say that there was not just a story
Yeah, it's
of.
all symbolic.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
We watched a section of it together today because I wanted to share this impression that I had with Ina, that the motherland in Russia from my time living there seems to have exactly this kind of association, where it's something you cannot escape, something that is incredibly gentle with you, and at the
And
same
which is
time
haunting you.
completely ruthless.
Yeah. It's like the carrot and the stick
Right.
principle.
Right, the carrot and the stick. It will lead you
It
with a
will
carrot
pat
in front of you,
you,
and then it'll
and then
just hit you in the butt with a
slap
stick.
you.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to share about the motherland. That is a director, very world-renowned director these days, Krimov Dmitry.
And we have Mother Armenia monument.
Yes, we have Mother Armenia, Mama Armenia, up on the hill.
Huge monument, which
Uh-huh.
used on its place used to be Stalin's statue.
No, come
which
on, really?
was much huger than Mother Armenia. If you notice, the base of this statue is much bigger than the statue itself.
because the statue of Stalin was much larger
Yes.
than her.
Yes, and this
Wow.
remained, and it was fallen, it was
Uh-huh.
destroyed. Yeah. And Mother Armenia symbolizes Armenia as motherland to
Mhm.
us. It's a female personification
Personification. Yes.
of Armenia. Yeah, and it's located in Victory Park on the hill in Yerevan. And the current statue replaces, as I told you, Stalin's
Yes.
monument. Yeah. And I think we saw a very nice view, which included Mother Armenia.
We did. It's true. Thank you for bringing this up. Today, Ina and I went to Mosaic Sky Restaurant, which is on
Official sponsor of American in Yerevan.
on the
show.
17th floor of Elite Plaza at 15 Hornatsi, and we had an amazing time there. It's such a great, and I've been there several times now, but I forget every time what a view that is. You have this feeling like we have this when you're on the top of mountains in Colorado, where you feel like you can see the whole state. Here it feels like you can see all of Armenia from up there, sipping our awesome cocktails.
Yeah.
and
I wish we had. I wish we had lunch or that kind of lunch every day.
It would be an amazing thing to have in the middle of our day. If you have the chance, put that in the middle of your day very, very soon. Go to the 17th floor of Elite Plaza and try out such a wide selection of amazing things. One of the things that we got to try today was a cocktail.
We're revealing a little secret here.
This is a secret. Yes, this is a cocktail called Apple Paradise, and it's made with apple vodka and port.
What
and
is
port?
port?
Port? Well, it's like a wine. Well, it's a fortified wine produced exclusively in the Douro Valley in northern province of Portugal, and it's typically sweet. It's a red wine, and in this, it's
That's
amazing.
what we had.
It's not just
Cool.
the taste which is amazing. It's also that they put this giant ball of ice in the
Ice.
middle, and they
Yeah.
wrap it in an apple, and
It's designed.
just like we have,
creative designs of food there. Yeah.
it's a really creative space. We took some photos there, which we will be putting on our Facebook page periodically to advertise our time there and
to
share
tease
with you.
you.
And I have to say, the space itself was inspiring to me. I felt like we found so many interesting places to take photos, and so many different angles, so many different mirrors everywhere, and mosaics, almost hidden, even though they're right there, and you maybe don't notice it right away.
And the
But
open air space as well.
The open air space is awesome.
Views are great.
Rush
so-
there as fast as you can. 17th floor of Elite Plaza at 15 Horanatsi Mosaic Sky Restaurant.
And thanks for hosting us this afternoon. It was great.
It was an excellent time. Stick around. We're still here till 11. We're talking about the motherland, and you can call us at 560-901 to share with us what your motherland, what that word means to you, and if you can help me kind of figure out what all of this means. Thank you, and stick around. So here's something that I've been thinking about recently. I've been thinking about what it means to have not just a motherland, but a mother tongue. Because I now am working on, I guess what you could say is a third language. I'm very, very slowly, but very, very surely, just like the tortoise and the hare story. Well, I'm the tortoise, really, when it comes to Armenian. And I do feel a very big difference between speaking a language that is not my language that I had from birth and speaking with my English that I have had since birth. However, recently I have come across something quite interesting. I have a family friend whose children have been listening to and speaking from birth, get this, Russian, Serbian, Armenian, and English.
Who is that?
And
Serbian.
some family friends, and their children, one of which is now studying in school, and he studies at the Waldorf school, so he doesn't write, he paints letters. It's a very important
Exactly.
distinction. He's not writing, he's painting the letters. He's very interested in letters. He mostly speaks in that's the thing, because he would speak just very easily with me in Russian. He speaks very easily in Armenian, very easily in Serbian, but none of these are a mother tongue to him. So he has no native language.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
They say the more languages you are, the more human you are.
The more languages you speak,
Speak,
the more
yeah.
human you are.
The more people you are.
Oh, the more personality. Well, the more, I guess, the more people you are, because
Yeah.
you can change. Yeah, I definitely have a different kind of Steven going on when I speak по-русски.
You know what I've noticed about myself
Yes.
sometimes? That
No, I don't.
like when I go to some interview or about the lyrics writing or
Mhm.
about this area, when I speak Russian or Armenian, well, speaking English is much more easier for me here on air rather than speaking in English or Armenian. But it's
On
psychologically.
the air here, you feel more comfortable speaking English
Yeah.
than Armenian?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, it's
so
a
you
s-
have a mother tongue on the radio, and it's English.
You know why? Because it's something psychological. I'm not. I feel like I'm someone else when I speak English, and I don't kind of like. It's kind of a role that you play,
Okay.
and you don't hesitate speaking English.
Uh-huh.
This is how I feel.
Yes.
It's like I'm not myself, but not myself like fake, but somebody else. And
Somebody
that-
else.
that
You've
thought-
transformed.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
that makes me easier
Uh-huh.
to speak and to communicate without any thoughts that
without having a psychological
Yeah.
block to it. Yes.
This is interesting.
Okay.
One
okay.
interesting thing I have noticed
Well,
about myself.
Let's do this then, since you have trouble speaking Armenian here in your country.
No.
Let's read some
Steven,
Armenian.
please.
Can we read some Armenian proverbs about the motherland and we'll translate them?
Of course.
Okay,
but
great.
I have that translation
Oh, you only have the translations.
already.
You are so
But I have
sly.
but I
You're
have
sly
a-
like a fox. Are you
but
kidding?
I have a poem in Armenian.
Okay, start with the poem and then we'll go to the proverbs. I can't believe this.
Okay, come on, Steven. No, please don't change the meaning of what I said. I said that I don't hesitate.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
These are jokes. We have a very light, humorous program here
Oh.
on American in Yerevan.
I didn't say that
Don't
earlier.
worry.
Okay. Okay, here you go. This is a poem by Hamo Sahian, one of our poets and writers, Armenian.
Yes.
So, here we go. Can
Here we
you
go.
make
I'm
it?
going to lower
Yeah,
this music a little bit.
Thank you, Stephen. Here we go. The name of the poem is When I Say Armenia.
When I say Armenia.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Հայաստան ասելիս Հայաստան ասելիս այտերս այրվում են Հայաստան ասելիս ծնկներս ծալվում են Չգիտեմ ինչու է այդպես Հայաստան ասելիս շրթունքս ճաքում է Հայաստան ասելիս հասակս ծաղկում է Չգիտեմ ինչու է այդպես Հայաստան ասելիս աչքերս լցվում են Հայաստան ասելիս թևերս բացվում են Չգիտեմ ինչու է այդպես Հայաստան ասելիս աշխարհը իմ տունն է Հայաստան ասելիս էլ մահը ում շունն է Կմնամ կլինեմ այսպես
Thank you very much.
Would you like
Thank you.
the quick translation?
Yes. What's the gist?
Okay. When I say Armenia, my cheeks burn.
Oh.
When I say Armenia, my knees bend.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why that I don't know why that happens. So I don't know why it's this way.
Uh-huh.
When I say Armenia, my lips crack. When I say Armenia, my hate grows or
Hate?
yeah
My hate grows?
yeah
Whoa. Okay.
or blossoms
Whoa.
kind of you feel like kind of like taller. That's
Your
the
height.
meaning.
Height.
Yeah height.
Not hate.
Height, yeah.
Okay. I grow.
Yeah, I grow
Uh-huh.
and I don't know why that happens.
Uh-huh.
When I say Armenia, my eyes tear up. When I say Armenia, my wings open. I don't know why that happens. When I say Armenia, the world is my home. When I say Armenia, death. I'm not afraid of death anymore.
Huh.
And I'll stay this way. And I'll stay this way.
Amazing. Great. Thank you for reading that poem and thank you for the translation. I hope that
You're
you
welcome.
enjoyed that
I
reading of
did.
a very wonderful poem. Can we just talk about the proverbs before we go to
Yeah,
our next
sure.
song? Okay.
Of course. You cannot love your own brother if he's a bad person, but you can't not love your homeland no matter what it is.
Ooh.
Hovannes
Ah.
Tumanyan says that.
Okay, yes. That seems very true about people who have a homeland, a motherland. Yes.
Patriotic feelings.
Well, yes. Okay.
We have been killed in our motherland, but motherland in us lives on.
Ooh.
Baruch Sevak, great poet, says
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Land is a living being. It has its own soul, and without the deep connection to one's own dear motherland, one cannot find oneself, one's own soul. Martiros Saryan.
Very, very
An
wise
artist,
words.
a painter. And the last one.
Oh, yes.
Beyond the motherland, all paradise is illusory to me. Garegin nishte.
Oh. Beyond the motherland, all paradise is illusory to me. Awesome. More coming up on Motherland. If you have some ideas, some ways to help me as American in Yerevan understand what it is to have a motherland, call us at 560-901. We are still here for another 47 minutes.
And watch us on www.radiovan.fm.
Gonna go, then you're gonna be
We had a caller during our break who requested that song. It was Mama Armenia, dedicating the song to all of the Armenian people.
Thank
you for loving me.
Oh, Steven,
Ina,
I have some information about Mother Armenia.
Oh,
if you
great,
wanna
great,
listen to
wonderful.
it.
Yes.
Like additional info. Mother Armenia has a height of 22 meters. Thus
Height.
Height. Okay.
She has a hatred.
Height.
She has a height of 22 meters. That's a lot of
Height
hate.
of 22 meters, thus making the overall height of the monument 51 meters, including the pedestal. The statue is built of hammered copper, while the base museum is of basalt.
Oh, whoa, basalt?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I've never been that close to it to really understand what it's made of.
We have to go once.
Okay, great.
We have to make a photo
We'll have a
session
photo
there.
session
Yeah.
there too.
Mother Armenia statue symbolizes peace through strength. And
Wait.
peace,
through strength.
Yeah, because
Is that why she has
holds-
this sword in the sheath?
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
protection.
God, that's
She
awesome.
protects us all.
But it's peace through strength.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm so glad she called.
It also recalls the important status and value attributed to the older female members of an Armenian family.
Yes. Because mother is sacred.
Yes.
Mother is
always
sacred. Yes.
sacred.
It's
In
all coming
home.
together. It's coming together. I'm going to understand this by the end of the night.
Yeah, its location on a hill overlooking Yerevan makes it look like a guardian of the Armenian capital.
Absolutely. Can't argue with that.
Every
Yes.
year on 9th May, thousands of Armenians visit the statue of Mother Armenia and lay flowers to commemorate the Armenian martyrs of the Second World War.
Oh, yes, because it's in Victory Park.
Yes, it
so
is.
that has meaning too. Okay, great. Wow, thank you for that extra information.
A lot of
You get an
secrets.
A+ for the day.
Thank
Ina.
you, Steven.
Yes. Speaking of A+ for the day, Ina, I would like to let you talk about your split home. Your home that
Yeah.
divided itself in two. However, as far as I understand, the motherland stayed the same,
Of course.
right? Okay.
Even
so
though
yes.
it's like, even though I called my host mom
Mhm.
sometimes.
You really did?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because, you know.
Mom.
Yeah, Mom. I said, okay, you just have to know that I have only one mom. And this is for only 1 year.
We're
But,
playing a
you
game.
know, they were they were nice people, and they felt like I was a part of their family, and they made me feel the same way
Mhm.
during this one academical year. So I just couldn't offend them by not saying mom and dad, because those were like part of the rules. Not
Oh, come
rules,
on,
but
really?
yeah, not rules, but still, it was like kind of like being a real part of an American
Oh,
family.
yes. Okay, yeah, I see. So the Flex program, Future Leaders Exchange Program, is a program that takes 50 students from Armenia and sends them to all the 50 states in America for a full academic year.
Yep.
And you did this. You were telling me that when you were a part of this program, there were many times where someone would ask you, where is Armenia? What is Armenia? What does it mean to be Armenian? And you would get to explain to them different aspects of your culture.
Yeah.
And you said that some
Do you go to school
had
by
a- like
camels? Do you have a TV? Do you know what TV is? TV?
have you heard of TV?
Do you know what ketchup is? I'm like, okay.
But you really, in all seriousness, you said that you had a reevaluation of some of the things
Of
you
course.
feel about your motherland. Can you talk about that?
Of course. Well, living in a total different country with total different values and worldviews and mentality, you know, it made me appreciate a lot of things about my own family. It's not about good or bad. It's about just appreciating what you have.
Sure.
It's about appreciating the relationships in your country, family relationship, friendship, etc. It's also about when you miss your home, you miss your country. It becomes like double, triple all these emotions. From far away.
Yes.
Especially even the songs that I never liked in Armenian. I enjoyed listening to them.
Really?
There, Armenian language.
I had a similar experience. When I lived in Moscow, I started to really enjoy bluegrass, which I never really listened to before.
Exactly. And, when you become like an ambassador of your own country in America, because they would start to ask where it is. Is it in Russia? Where's the Soviet Union? And stuff like that. So you like, okay, wait a second. I just happen to have a map inside my pocket. I take it out and then I start to, okay, here it is. You see this little territory. It's Armenia. It's older than everything that you have learned about. And then I was preparing presentations at school with with pictures and with cultural different, photos of different things that to make people familiar, but just not with the history, with a lot of interesting things that would interest the youth, especially at school. And sometimes when you have to defend, your own country in certain questions, when, to tell about it, to let people know more about it. It's an experience for your own self to discover your own Armenia once again and to love it more.
Great. Awesome. That's a great answer. I'm very, very pleased here as an American in Yerevan. I have very many similar feelings. However, I'm not sure that I'm really not sure what I would say in terms of my experience of explaining my own country, because there are many things about my own country that I very much appreciate, but there are many things that I'm also very embarrassed by.
Well, it's always that way. It's I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's also there are certain things that you understand, that how many things that you would like to be changed in your own country, that was as well. So I had
and that
those.
grows too, as you said, that feeling.
both things.
Oh,
it's both sides, because you get excited, you want to go back and tell a lot of people what kind of things you've learned. That's why it's called a leaders program. That way you come back with new ideas, ready to make a change, make a difference.
Well, this is something that I can very easily relate to, because it's an atmosphere that we have in America. It's what we would even call patriotism, which comes from the root patron, or what you would say is the father figure. So it's almost like a fatherland issue here. However, fatherland, if we take it from Russian, is mostly used in the sense of talking about political activity. And here I think it's quite the same as concerns America, because we have so much activity in terms of systemizing different things. And if something needs to change in America, people look at it very rationally, very logically, and want to change it for the better through some kind of systemized activity.
True.
Which is also why we have, I think, a figure of Uncle Sam instead of Mother Russia. So like the 20th century propaganda was always about going to the war for Uncle Sam, not going to the war to protect your mother. Right now we're listening to Turn the Lights Out When You Leave by Elton John. We'll be right back. We're still here until 11 on American in Yerevan. There is a very, very big feeling in the past few days in Armenia about the motherland. And this has to do with something that we cannot ignore this evening. We cannot ignore it as long as it's going on. And that is the aggressive conflict that is going on in Artsakh. But we have a pretty great story for you. We hope that some of you know about this, and we also hope that some of you are hearing about this for the first time. And that is That.
That. Yeah.
Okay, you tell it. You tell it. You tell it.
That is that the shepherd living in one of the villages of Artsakh shot down the drone flying by his village
So there was
with
this,
a gun.
There was this drone, which the Azerbaijani the army has, flying over his village, and he saw it.
He's
He
like,
probably
"Hey,
went
who's that?"
outside with his cup of coffee and his rifle, and he said, "What is that?" He set down his cup of coffee on a stump, shot up into the air, and the drone came flying down. That is
was
a
his
true
big
love for
victory.
your motherland. I am so glad that story surfaced today, came to the surface, so that we could
Gives
hear
a
about it and
smile,
talk about
yeah.
it today, to give us a smile. What a great victory for the day
Yeah.
in a very difficult
The
conflict.
defender.
The defender of the motherland, shooting down the drones from his porch.
Yeah, so we hope, we were speaking earlier with Steven today, that we hope one day that in wars going on, that there will be no human resources. It will be just robots or just machines fighting against each other, and whoever has the least amount of
The least amount of robots at
Yeah.
the end of the day
They-
loses the battle.
yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
that'd be just great.
This is
no blood.
This would be going back to some of the first battling techniques that existed in tribes and in ancient Greece. Do you remember this? Where two armies would meet. They would meet and they would decide whether or not we're going to have a battle today. And if they said, okay, instead we would like to do something else, they would pick two of their main warriors, the strongest warriors from each side, and the two warriors would just battle. And whoever won that battle would somehow decide what was going to happen for the rest of the day. I think that we could do that with drones.
Yeah,
I think
let's do that.
Yeah, then we could be destroying as much of this mechanical engineering as we want without harming any of our young men and women. Something that was very disturbing to me is that the other day in our institute, in the theatrical institute, there was a group who came and they decided that they were going to teach all of our young women, the young women in our theatrical courses, to learn first aid,
Oh,
because they said that they would like for
To
the
help.
women to start being nurses for the conflict. This is something that I am very glad my partner Zara said no to. She said, no, they study here. They're going to keep studying, and we're going to keep rehearsing, which was a very strong and very peaceful decision that she made. So thank you to Zara. But thank
And
you
let's
also
all
for
of us-
all of the
yeah.
people who are involved in this conflict, risking their lives, giving their lives for something that is very, very serious, very close to our hearts. We wish all the best to the families who are involved in this crisis, and we hope that there will be no more sacrifices to this conflict.
Yeah, so let's just pray for peace, because that will be the best thing for all of us, for all the families from both sides.
Yes, yes. We'll keep praying for peace, keep hoping for things to continue on in this. Today seems like a calmer day than the past few days have
so
been.
We hope to stay this way
Yes.
in this tune.
Keep listening to us. We're here for another 10 minutes.
Check. 1 2 1 2.
Radio One.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
American in Yerevan.
Well, we had a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday evening with you all. We're kind of sad that no one called us to answer these questions, but Ina cleared it up for me. I have a pretty good handle now on what it means to have a motherland. I have it seems to be an energetical connection, a physical connection to the actual land. It's a connection to a personification of
Call
one's
of blood.
country, and it's the call of blood. Ina you have a new project which is very much related to the subject of the day, motherland. Can you tell us about the project?
I'm currently working on a song which is called Hayastan, Armenia. It is in Armenian language, and it is made for up-and-coming singer whose name is, by the way, Masis.
No way.
Yes, exactly.
Really? The singer's name is Masis?
Yes.
I didn't know there were people named Masis, actually.
Well, I don't know many people named Masis, but he is one of them. He's the first one I
Masis
met.
is going to sing Hayastan.
Yeah,
Wow,
how
that's-
symbolic.
That is a very, very good way to end our day here on American in
Yeah, so
Yerevan.
make songs, not war.
Make songs, not war. What a great saying. Make songs, not war. Ina MK. We have another saying that we would like to end our show with. And this seems to be more... you
Universal.
found this. Yeah. But it's very close to my heart. Because today we were having dinner here at Radio Van with our very good friend Ani. And while we were sitting there having dinner, we were talking about how I, to this day, have a pretty hard time understanding what everyone is saying when everyone is speaking Armenian. However, I am very thankful that you speak Armenian around me so that I do have this process, this tortoise process, slow and steady, of learning Armenian. And that...
We do try to translate for you.
You do. And it's good for me just to hear it. Because... Kamats, very, very
Step by
steadily,
step.
I am learning to speak and to listen. But something that Ani said was that it's not so important that Stephen understands Armenian right away, but it's important that he is already Armenian in his spirit. Which I have to confess is something that I have also heard living in Russia, that I have a Russian soul as well. There are many points in my life where I have been in a group of people who can't believe that I'm an American, even though I am.
You're a universal person, Steven.
And that's why I would like to end our show today with the quote that you sent to me, and that is this: "The universe is my homeland. The entire human race is my family, and doing good is my religion." Thank you, Ina, for sending me that little snippet of light and peace.
So
and
we have
you.
a definition of your homeland.
That is the definition of my homeland. The universe. I'm here for you, my universe. Thank you for sticking with us through this evening on American in Yerevan with Ina MK.
And Steven Oxner. Thank you to our official sponsor, Mosaic Skybar.
Mosaic Skybar.